I think it's a widely held opinion that the second Doctor's final serial, The War Games, a 10-parter, is one of the very finest of his era. Although I have to admit, I think this is also a fairly commonly held opinion. Wow, 10 episodes long, goodness me. Watching this in one sitting is something of a chore, I have to admit. Way better to watch in, I'm going to say, like, two 5 episode bursts might still be a bit much. 2 episodes in the course of 5 days, that's probably more reasonable, although it's, you'd want to watch more anyway. Whatever, it doesn't, watch it as you choose. It's really not necessary to sit down and watch the whole thing in one burst. If for no other reason, then, well, one, that's not how it was intended to be viewed if you want to be a purist. And secondly, it just makes the whole thing less enjoyable, frankly. Now, the production value's phenomenal, very well directed. A prototype for this serial was The Enemy of the World, which not only was set in, well, it was set in very future Earth, but with Earth-like military machinery and paraphernalia, which is all the war games action sequences and set pieces are drawn from, literally from Earth's history and placed onto another planet. I think it's, yeah, almost certainly the most ambitious production of the second Doctor's era. The Invasion's very impressive too, though, to be fair, and Web of Fear as well. But almost of the entire black and white era, of the entire 60s, certainly Dalek's Master Plan has a lot going for it in terms of visible, overt ambition, although I suspect that maybe the war games would have required even more. I mean, there's explosions, vehicles, multiple different interesting particular sets. I think all in all, you have one of the most impressive of his work, of his era serials, in terms of scale, if nothing else. Trying to stretch it out over 10 episodes is not the best idea they ever had, although I understand why they wanted this enormous send-off to transition the second Doctor to the third Doctor. Well, not only that, but the black and white era to the colour era. I tend to consider the War Games, as I said, one of Patrick Troughton's finest, and you can see the episodes sped up here, the first of them. You can tell it's a very able piece of work, although will we still feel this way by even episode 6? This would have been a way better 6-parter, probably. Maybe even 8-parter would have been fine. It could still keep the epic length. Yeah, 8-parter would have been fine. I mean, The Invasion was also 8 parts, but it wouldn't have felt any less epic, I suspect. I don't know. We'll talk more about this serial in the next entry. We have to stretch this discussion out over 10 episodes, so you'll forgive us for that. Thanks again, everyone. I appreciate it very, very, very immensely.